Hi, and welcome to the Selected Tech podcast, brought to you by a group of 4 MVPs doing webinars, sessions, and interviews on all things SharePoint, Office 365, and the Microsoft AI ecosystem. Their motto is learn, share, reuse. And here they are, Albert Jan, Rick, Stephan, and Tommy.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello,
hey.
everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to a new episode of Selected Tech. Today, we're going to dive into, I don't know if I should call it Teams development or bot development, but Stephan is going to show us
Both.
how to, both. Yeah, it's going to be a mix of both. It's going to show us how to do task modules in Teams, but not the normal way with bot framework Composer. So I'm very curious how you do that. This is going to be a trick. Do I need to study 20 hours to get it working? Oh yes. Oh no, that's the wrong. No, you should say no. Say no.
You still need a PhD to manage auth.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of course. That doesn't change, but that's in every part.
But luckily, we don't need auth for building a task module, so we're good.
Okay. Step 1 complete. Okay.
Yep. Good. So yeah, as you said, you basically have two options building a task module, right? So you can either do it using code, so you can write the code on your own, either using JavaScript or TypeScript, or using C# and .NET. In both ways, you're actually leveraging the bot framework SDK to, let's say, build a bot who actually executes the task module for you. Or you could use Composer to achieve the same, but without the need of writing code. And that's what we're going to look at today. So what I've prepared is an empty bot. So it basically has nothing in it except for a greeting. But that's mainly it. So the bot is really dumb as of now. And the first thing we need, and there's a cool part about Composer, is we can add a package to our bot. So we're basically going to add some Teams functionality to our Composer bot. So we click the package manager in there, and we'll see they're going to show up a lot of packages which come either by Microsoft or by the community, like components for the graph or adapters or stuff like that, or working with adaptive cards. And there's one specific package for Teams. So you can basically choose which version you want to install. As I've made the error of using the release candidate a couple of days ago, which happened to have slight bugs in there, I'm going to use a stable version. So I'm going with 1.1.2. And what it basically does right now is it actually pulls the package from, in that case, the Nugget feed into my Composer bot. So Composer basically creates a Visual Studio project or solution for you on your local machine. And right now it installs a Nugget package or multiple Nugget packages into your solution file. And after that is complete, we're going to see that we get a lot of new functionality and features added to the Composer UI, specifically around Teams. So you can do a lot of things which happen to only be offered within a Teams bot for devs. And I don't know why the installation is taking that much of a time. Usually it should be done in a couple of seconds, but we give it a couple of seconds. So now it's installed. And if we now go back to our offering canvas, and as you can see on the top, I've installed the nightly build of Composer, so that's why it may be a bit slow. So if we go to the offering canvas, we see if we click on add, we immediately have a lot of options for Teams in there. So we can get Teams info, we can play around with messaging extensions, we can send messages to a channel, and we can work with task modules. So the easiest approach of, let's say, triggering a task module would be to, for instance, doing that via a hero card. So I'll make it rather simple. So I'll use the unknown intent trigger, so we don't have any logic around language understanding and stuff like that. We just replace the unknown intent trigger to send a hero card whenever user is gonna, respond something to the bot. And in my case, I don't want to send text, but I want to send an attachment. And I'll go with add custom because I have my smart cheat sheet prepared. And I'll just copy that in. And my hero card basically, is just a subtitle containing as well as a button. And as we can see in here, we're using a function for a button. So we'll need to do something in addition to make that work. So we're gonna go over to the bot responses, and we're gonna use, not only use, but we're gonna paste in a function to make our life a bit easier. Showing the code in here. And then we're gonna go ahead and do two things. First off, we're gonna, let's say, create a template for our hero card, which is this. So it consists of a type, a title, a text, a value, and we can insert parameters to that card action template function. So we can use the exact same template and on the fly, paste in parameters. And what we also need is the order task module fetch button, which is basically the button to execute our or invoke our task module. And we'll see in here what it basically does is it invokes an action in here of type task fetch. And we also assign a specific button ID to our button. So that makes it possible to have multiple task modules within the same bot. And based on the condition via the button ID, we can say, okay, now we want to trigger that task module, and in another case, we want to trigger another task module. So that's basically it, and that's everything we need in order to trigger the hero card. So if I would now go ahead and start the bot, and I have ng-rock running and all of that, so the tunneling should be good. And after the bot should have been restarted, we can go over to Teams and we can just say something to our bot, and what it basically should do is represent us with the hero card. But until then, the hero card won't do anything because we haven't implemented some functionality to cover this task fetch action. So it basically just will respond with the hero card, but won't do anything else. In order to actually, execute a task module whenever a user clicks that specific button, what we need to do is we need to go back to the offering canvas, and in code you had this on task module fetch function, how it was called, or this trigger, how it was called. And in the bot or in bot framework composer, we have the same thing. So we can add a new trigger, and that specific trigger should be of type Microsoft Teams in the first place. And then we can say on task module fetch. So as you can see in here, there are a lot of triggers around Teams. One of those is on task module fetch. So we can select that, and that will basically, kind of execute whenever users basically pressing the button. And in order to make sure that we only use that specific trigger when our button from that specific hero card with that button ID order fetch is being executed, we give it a condition and say the condition is only if the turn.activity.value.data.button ID, pretty long property, equals order fetch, so the button ID we assign to that button, then the on task module fetch trigger should basically trigger. And what we want to do then is we want to show our task module. So we want to have that kind of pop-up notion right within Teams, and there are multiple options of sending a task module. So you can either say, I want to send a task module containing an adaptive card. You can send a task module which just contains a message, or if you have some kind of existing web application or stuff like that, you can use the send task module URL response, which will basically pull in an iframe and then show the whatever is on that URL in the backend. But we'll go with the easiest one, sending an adaptive card. So we'll pick send adaptive or send card response, and for that, what we basically need to do is just paste in our adaptive card, and I can pretty quick go over the cards show designer, and I've already prepared one. So we'll check out look like before we actually paste that in. And I don't know why my Edge browser is that slow today. But the adaptive card is rather simple. So we have just a column set with one column text block, and then we have a choice set, and it's basically about selecting a pizza type. So we see in here we have a bit of choices in here from Diavolo, Hawaii, Prosciutto, and stuff like that. And then we have a button which should then call the action submit action to order that specific pizza. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And now we want to show that adaptive card if the user clicks our task module fetch button. So in order to do that, we just select create a new attachment, override the JSON from that pre-built adaptive card in there, give it a title like please select your order. And then we of course could say we want to play with the height and the width, and that's basically it. So we'll get rid of that text response and just have the adaptive card in here, and that should be it. So we'll restart, and by now, after the bot has been restarted, if we enter some text into the text chat within Microsoft Teams, we should get the hero card sent by the bot. Within that hero card, there should be one button. If we click that button, we should get the adaptive card as a task module represented. So we'll wait a couple of seconds until the bot has been started, and then we'll head over to Teams and see if it's already working.
While we're waiting, just to make that sure, not actually in the task, but what the bot framework composer now does is that it runs the bot locally, and you use ngrok to expose it to the user in Teams, or?
Yeah, I've already done that. So I've set up ngrok. I've created what's now called Azure Bot, what has been called Bot Channel Registration Service. I have pasted in the app ID and app secret in my app settings JSON right in here.
Okay.
So I've basically pre-configured the connection before that session.
So the only thing in the cloud actually is the bot registration.
Yes, correct. And of course, I've created the Teams app in here. And so if I now go ahead and say hi, for instance, we should see something incoming into ngrok to my API /messages endpoint. And in a couple of seconds, we should see the OK message, and then we should get the hero card from our bot. So I see now 200 OK, and there we get the hero card. Pretty straightforward, just a subtitle and this order pizza button. And if I now go ahead and click that button, something went wrong. please try again. Great.
I wonder when this please try again ever solves the problem.
Stops it.
Did I mess up my adaptive card JSON? Should be
Well,
good.
if you browse that quickly, I cannot help you.
No, I just check if the format is good, so all
Okay.
the brackets and stuff like that is in here. The strange thing is, it doesn't do anything. So and that's unfortunately a bit tricky to debug that because there is no error logged out. So
Ooh.
let's see if we have set the order button correctly. No, should be good. Order task module fetch button is in here. And the response should be okay as well. Order fetch. Should be good.
Attachment okay. Yeah, it's just when you click the button, right? So the draft card's okay. It's just coming back in. That's
The title is order pizza. That should be okay as well. So at least it takes my input of that function. So maybe a restart will solve the problem. Otherwise, I would need to open up the already done bot to demonstrate that.
Maybe it's a timeout thing here because it starting also takes so long.
Yeah, it takes, I guess, too long. But the strange thing is, nothing is locked in my ng-rock when I click the button.
Okay, so you don't get a message
going
back.
somewhere. Yeah, it's going somewhere, but
Obviously not to my back to my bot. So let's give it another try. And I don't know what's wrong with my Teams client in here, but I get this loading spinner since a couple of hours all the time. Can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Something must be loading.
Please try again.
But it's kind of strange because it
There's the end.
Yeah, it takes
a while.
Takes quite long, but
it's
nothing comes
back
in.
with the error quite quickly, or?
Yeah.
Yep.
Seems like
in an instance.
So plan B, open up the already done bot. Where is it? Not in here. Quite a few bots I've built already on my machine, so
looks that way.
yep. And there we go. And this bot, of course, has some more functionality attached to it.
And
Obviously,
yeah, Rick now wants to order pizza.
Yeah. Now, if you call me BotComposer, then that's getting quite close.
That's the bot of our pizza demo, I think, right?
Yep. So.
Oh, there's a lot more in here, yeah.
Yeah, just forget the login and logout dialog and stuff like that. So we have the on task module fetch in here. So see, same condition. In the card response, We even should have the same
That
card
part.
with the input choice set, Diavolo, Hawaii, and so on and so forth. And so what we have in here as well is not only the trigger for on task module fetch. So if someone clicks the button, but we also have the trigger for on task module submit. So if the task module is present, you have the submit button in there in that adaptive card. And if someone clicks that, there's another event fired, which is called on task module submit. And in there, the cool thing is you can, let's say, update the adaptive card or even the whole task module. So you can say, first, you'll show the adaptive card. If someone submits the adaptive card, you're gonna go to, let's say, another view and just present the user with a message. So in my case, I answer to that, or my answer to the action submit button within the task module is sending a task module message response with a very simple message. Thank you for ordering a pizza. And the cool thing is you can refer to, let's say, inputs of the adaptive card from that task module quite easily, because the bot will in the end get that activity sent to whatever the user types in, and you can refer to even properties or stuff which is part of the adaptive card. So if I go here and see, I have to my input choice set, I've found the ID pizza type, and I'm gonna go ahead within Composer and refer to that input choice set, or actually what the user chooses via this turn.activity.value.data dot, in my case, pizza type. So I get the response back from the adaptive card, so whatever the choice was of that specific user, and I'll refer in the next screen of the task module to that value. So if I start that bot now, and I should have done that before started talking, because right now it will restart, or it will stop the first bot and start the second one. So it's going to take a while, but I need to open up another Teams browser anyway. So to actually demonstrate that. And we see in here we have more triggers, so I can't say anything to the bot, but I represent it, and then the task module. So in here we have that order pizza trigger, and within that order pizza trigger, we just basically send out the hero card to the user.
Cool.
It's a bit more logic, because other dialogue, the dialogue then sends the adaptive, sends the hero card. But I don't know what they did with Composer, because it's quite, slow on my end.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but last week Ignite, this week .NET conference, .NET 6 released. I'm not sure what's going on in the backends.
Yeah, has to be.
Yeah, they did a lot of updates.
A lot of stuff changed over the last couple of days, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We also have the several different tenants. If you go to SharePoint, you have like instead of the actual labels, you get like label placeholder for this button, a label placeholder for this button, but it doesn't load the labels. Then you do a refresh, and then it's okay again.
Yeah. But for the
even
US
Teams
people,
is, maybe it's my machine.
The year is over in 2 or 3 weeks anyways, or it's Thanksgiving and then.
So
the team is also slow, yeah. Did you pay
maybe
your
it's my
internet bill
machine.
this month? Yeah, did you pay your internet bill this month, or they put you on
Never
they
do
put
that.
you on they put you on a slow line?
It's the Wi-Fi of the neighbor.
Pay once, you have to pay every time.
Yeah. Stop watching Netflix. I'm trying to work here.
Yeah, actually, this week one of my access points suddenly stopped working. That doesn't do anything anymore. So
No
half a year,
reinstall or
that
that's weird.
You're one of
tried
your
everything.
Ubiquiti.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
Unify.
Yeah, it doesn't respond anymore. Yeah, doesn't respond.
The power line,
Stopped
maybe?
working from 1 second to the other.
No
Yeah,
power anymore?
doesn't get any power. Yeah, doesn't get
Okay.
any power.
And did you try the second? Because you have two. Don't you have like two in? And there's also an alternative import. No, isn't there like a second
No,
one?
you just have one input port. So what is up with my
I
machine?
one. Yeah, okay. I thought it was two.
Yeah, two outputs, just one input.
Yeah.
So now it's running. Okay, let's try it again. Say hi. I want to get that hero card, please. Come on. Don't be shy. This is also interesting. I don't know if you've noticed, but the app icons, so the small ones, they tend to have a change in there because they're all dark on my end. I don't know what they've done. Every app icon in the small mode is dark.
Oh yeah, yeah, that as well sometimes. I hope that's caching, but that's been in there for
Yeah, not
I
sure.
don't know how long.
So now this is the hero card, same as before. Click order pizza. Here it's working. I don't know why on the other bot it didn't work. So we have that adaptive card in here. So going back to the designer, same as before, just with the Teams UI, we can select our pizza. So for Tommy, I'm selecting Hawaii.
Good call.
And if I'm now going to go ahead and click that order button, we still stay within the task module, but we're now in the task module submit trigger. So we see that the bot sends a task module message response, so we don't send another. So we could actually send another adaptive card. So if you want to have, let's say, a multi-stage form in there, you can have one adaptive card leading to another one, leading to another one. Won't do that. What we see, we get that message, and we also see in that message, we get the pizza type. So that's our dynamic property we refer to. So if I would do that again and select, for instance, Diavolo and order, we see it's not Hawaii anymore, but it's Diavolo. And based on that, you can basically refer to whatever the user has entered just via using a very simple, assigning an ID within the adaptive card and then referring to that ID using that turn.activity.value.data. Whatever your ID was called. And that's basically it. So within a couple of minutes, you should be good to go building beautiful task modules powered either by adaptive cards or even inserting your own iframes in there with ease, without the need of writing code and stuff like that.
That's cool. But for task modules, there are multiple options to create task modules in Teams. Like it can host adaptive cards, and there's also the, what do you call that? The declarative way, where you have it in the Teams app manifest.
Yeah.
Or you have basically an iframe or going to a web page you create.
Yeah.
Or can you from in here also create the web page experience? No. From Composer you only can make the adaptive card thing work.
Yeah, I can do. So as you see in here, within the fetch, I can say I want to send either the card, so I could even send not. I don't need to send an adaptive card. I can even send a hero card.
A hero card, okay.
So all card types which are supported. I can even send just, let's say, a string with a message response, or I can refer to a URL. So those are my three things. I haven't experimented with
that's
card
the
response.
Aren't you able to also create task modules with SPFX and then that must be a tab. Yep, must be that.
That's it. Because the documentation is kind of poor. So okay, cards. So what is the difference between that card and cards?
Expression for
right here it says also an adaptive card, but I'm not sure if that's correct. But yeah, those are the three options you have in Composer.
Cool. And if you go back to the chat, I mean the idea of, or at least in my understanding, task module has two main use cases. Once, or first you get the like a more sophisticated or more form-feeling UI, and a second one is that only you see it. Meaning, if you can create a dialogue with your bot, and if you're not deploying the bot in a one-to-one scenario, but let's say in a channel, everyone would see what you choose, what you created, or what data you submitted. And with the task module, you basically are somehow
invisible,
obfuscating those values, and it's not available in the chat, right? Those two main use cases for task modules.
Yep.
But you could also, like now, if you click on order, and then answer with another adaptive card containing information about your order, and then like, okay, and now it's
the size, for instance, or additional ingredients or stuff like that. So
or shipping information or all those things. Then and always update the same adaptive card. Basically, depending on the process.
So as like multi-step workflows or multi-step forms or stuff like that.
Yeah, it's interesting because for us, it's a real. I really think that's a cool way of having an AI that or a UI, not AI, a UI that adapts. But if I think of the regular users, do they understand that there is now a change and it's not nothing? You don't get a new message, right? You just get an update on a message that already was sent. So in a one-on-one situation, it might be, okay, it's the last one that changes or keeps changing. But in a channel, if someone else interrupts your conversation,
you could do that. So you could say, like in here, send a response.
Yeah.
And then I could say, thanks for ordering. So you would need to check if the user has placed a valid order or something like that.
Of course, yeah.
For the sake of simplicity, just sending a response. And if I restart it, you could basically then say, whenever a user submits, the information he or she submits is hidden to the rest, but still the bot could, kind of send a new message response stating, okay, someone has submitted something, or someone has entered data. Thanks for ordering. Thanks for giving me the information needed, or something like that. And the good thing about Composer is you can do it, let's say, rather simple, using just send a response. But you can even say, I wanna send a message to a Teams channel,
Okay.
or answer to an existing channel thread, something like that. So it's pretty simple, because you get all the things you need via the Teams info. So you get the channel, you get even the conversation ID and stuff like that, without the need of implementing authentication in there. And then you can basically respond to a thread within a channel. You see, what you always need to keep in mind is that the bot just has a limited time in terms of when the answer, or when the fetch action should be answered by the bot. And
that's
as
the,
we see right
5
now,
seconds or something like that, or
and as we have restarted it, now it's unable to properly answer the fetch. So you would need to give it a couple of minutes. But if I say Diavolo, we'll get the message in here within the adaptive card, and we should also get the message within the chat. So we see, thank you for ordering a pizza. We also see, thanks for ordering.
That's cool.
And what you can do with that is, user A enters data within the task module, the bot sends this information to user B.
Okay. Proactive messaging to another user. Okay.
Yep.
And can you still, I mean, I just remembered from very, very early stages, but is it still something or a use case that you start your bot with the Composer and then take it to Visual Studio Code? Is that still a thing, or is it now more like, okay, you stay in the tool and then you keep working on the bot in Composer?
Yeah, I mean, things have changed a bit within Composer, because back then, so what you get basically, and you still could open up your bot using Visual Studio or VS Code, because it's just scaffolds out the whole project for you. So no, let me go to, doesn't matter, to my bot. We see in here, we have the solution file in here, and we see the rest is also created on my machine. So I can open up Visual Studio or that solution file, and then extend it. The downside is you have to fiddle around with a lot of JSON, because everything around the dialogues, all the logic you have implemented within Composer is
JSON.
Purely in JSON. So if I look at, for instance, the order pizza dialogue.
Okay, then there's no added value to open it in Visual Studio, because
it's just a dialogue file. And if you open it up, it's just JSON. So, and basically it's referring to, the actions in there. So you can't really, unless you wanna enhance or develop JSON, you can't really enhance that, but you could still enhance it using code, let's say with the middleware or stuff like that. But the proper model of fully developing along with Composer would be to build packages. So you can even you can pull in packages built by Microsoft or the community, or you can add your private Nugget feed in here. and add packages in there. And
Okay,
and
okay.
you can basically do whatever you want to. So if you want to add a package for SAP, you could do so. If you want to add a package for your CRM,
Okay, so
you can do so.
they change the direction. It's not like you take it from there to code, but you take your code and bring it to Composer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you always
Interesting.
have an overview.
Yeah.
And there's everything you can use within Composer can be extended. So like all the actions in there can be extended. The behavior of the bot can be extended using middleware or custom adapters. You can even bring in your own templates if you'd like to. So everything you want to enhance using code should be done using a package.
Cool. That should be something for another show or episode. Creating your own package and see what we can get out of there.
Already have one within here, so one package I built should be available to everyone, which is around weather dialogue, so pretty straightforward one. Well, we can definitely take a look on how to do that. So this dialogue get weather is something I've built.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Perfect.
I guess that's it.
Then let's say thank you and see you next week.
Very interesting. See you guys next week.
See you. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.